Hi everyone, my name is Marc Bates. I'm a metabolic health coach, and today our topic is the brain needs meat, the mental health benefits of the carnivore diet. Okay? So, the fat your brain desperately needs. Your brain, a remarkable organ, is composed of two-thirds fat. Did you know that? This unique fact underscores the crucial and often overlooked role of fat in brain function and health, revolutionizing our understanding of nutrition and enlightening us about this critical aspect of our health. When discussing what feeds our bodies, we rarely consider what feeds our minds. The organ responsible for your thoughts, emotions, and consciousness consists primarily of fat, not carbohydrates, not protein. About 25% of your brain's fat is saturated fat. Right? Another 25% is monounsaturated fat, primarily oleic acid, in foods like lamb and olive oil. The remaining fat includes specialized omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids that your body cannot manufacture efficiently. This composition isn't random, it's essential. The three pillars of brain nutrition. According to Dr. Georgia Ede, a Harvard-trained psychiatrist specializing in nutrition science, a brain-healthy diet must do three things: nourish, protect, and energize. And I talk about these things on more than just the brain, but she's speaking in her specialty, the brain. These three principles form the foundation of why a high-fat carnivore approach creates optimal conditions for brain function. Nourish, providing essential building blocks. Animal foods, rich in specific nutrients, are the ideal source for your brain's essential building blocks. They derive these nutrients in their most bioavailable forms, without the anti-nutrients in plant foods that can hinder absorption. This knowledge empowers us to make informed dietary choices that can significantly impact our brain health. The essential fatty acids your brain cannot live without include EPA, DHA, and ARA. Okay? These complex molecules, crucial for brain health, exist only in animal foods, empowering you to know their unique role in brain function. DHA alone makes up approximately 20% of the human brain's fat composition. This percentage has remained unchanged for over 500 million years of evolution, highlighting its irreplaceable role in brain function. Your body's highly inefficient conversion of plant omega-3s, like ALA from flaxseed, into the forms your brain can use, is uncontributed. Less than 1% of ALA converts to the crucial DHA your brain needs, right? So even though flaxseed supposedly is very high in ALA, right? It doesn't do you any good. You can't absorb it efficiently, okay? You need to feed your brain what it was designed to run on, which is principally animal fats that come from eating animal meat. This inefficiency isn't a design flaw. It's evidence that our brains evolved to obtain these nutrients directly from animal sources, validating the importance of animal foods in our diet for optimal brain health. Protect, preventing damage and inflammation. The second pillar of brain health involves protection from inflammatory damage, oxidative stress, and insulin resistance. Animal foods contain virtually none of the inflammatory compounds in the modern industrialized diet, such as refined carbohydrates, industrial seed oils, or plant defensive toxins. These compounds can break down your natural barriers, aggravate your immune system, and interfere with thyroid function, nervous system function, and mitochondrial performance, negatively impact brain health. These inflammatory compounds can break down your natural barriers, aggravate your immune system, and interfere with thyroid function, nervous system function, and mitochondrial performance. So it just hurts your brain, period, right? Your brain's immune system depends on specific fats like ARA, right? Arachidonic acid. While often maligned, ARA is a crucial component of your brain's first response system when facing threats. Inflammation isn't inherently bad. Your brain needs the ability to mount an appropriate inflammatory response when necessary. The problem is when inflammation becomes chronic due to constant exposure to inflammatory triggers. And many that affect us come from the plant foods and processed products we have been eating. Energize the brain, right? The fueling optimal function, fueling the optimal function. The third pillar focuses on providing consistent, clean-burning energy to your brain. Your brain consumes approximately 25% of your body's energy, despite being only 2% of your body weight. And that may be as high as 25% of your body's energy. How you fuel this energy-hungry organ matters tremendously. A high-fat diet, right? A carnivore, a ketogenic diet, high in fat, right? Especially saturated fat, keeps glucose and insulin levels stable. Animal foods are incapable of causing the dangerous glucose-insulin spikes that can damage your brain tissues over time, right? You eat a steak. The protein in the steak potentially will give you a small insulin spike. You eat a spaghetti dinner, your insulin shoots out the roof from the carbohydrates. Okay? It's just that simple. When you restrict carbohydrates and increase fat intake, your body shifts to producing ketones, a molecule that your brain can use as a fuel source. Many people report improved mental clarity, focus, and cognitive function when their brains run primarily on ketones rather than glucose. This metabolic shift explains why Dr. Ead's clinical research found that a ketogenic diet with 75 to 80% fat, 15 to 20% protein, and 5% or less carbohydrates led to system improvement in 100% of mental health patients, with 43% achieving complete clinical remission. That's Dr. Ead's clinical research with her patients. 100% mental health improvement. 100% of her mental health patients had improvement, and 43% had complete clinical remission by switching to a ketogenic and or a carnivore type diet. Okay? That's impressive results. Long before people were studying ketogenic and carnivore diets, right? Dr. Mary Newport looked at the research, and her husband was suffering from Alzheimer's, and she was looking for a way to help him. And she started feeding him coconut oil. Coconut oil does break down pretty easily, a good portion of it, into MCT oils, which are processed and delivered very quickly into ketones. And she put him into a very deep ketosis. It's a heavy ketogenic diet. And his Alzheimer's basically was resolved after a while. I mean, people were saying Alzheimer's was incurable. And Dr. Mary Newport basically cured her husband using coconut oil. The secret here is a ketogenic diet, something that produces ketones. Your brain is starving for energy in Alzheimer's. It's not the plaques. It's insulin resistance in the brain. Your brain is starving for energy. Ketones are the best energy source for the brain. Okay. How much fat is optimal? This is a good question. The ideal amount of dietary fat depends on your metabolic health and personal goals. Dr. Ead explains that when transitioning to a carnivore diet, most people should eat fat for satiety while their bodies adapt. You know, basic carnivore rule. Eat until you're not hungry and stop eating. Okay? Carbohydrates don't quell the hunger. Fat and proteins do. And then when you're hungry again, eat some more. For general brain health, most carnivore dieters aim for 70 to 80% of calories from fat, with a general recommendation of a 1-to-1 ratio of protein to fat by weight. Okay? If weight loss is your goal, you may need to adjust, as Dr. Eade notes. You don't want most of the fat in your diet coming from your plate. You want it to come from the fat in your body, right? Your body fat. This nuance explains why some people on carnivore diets might plateau or gain weight despite eliminating carbohydrates. The solution often involves temporarily reducing dietary fat to encourage your body to utilize stored fat while maintaining adequate protein intake. And yeah, that is an issue. Everyone I know who goes carnivore or full ketogenic will lose weight pretty rapidly. I did too. But then you plateau. And you wonder why. And the issue is you got to start getting your body to burn your fat, not the fat you're consuming. That's a simple rule. The critical fats your brain cannot make. And this is important, especially for my friends who tell me that they're vegetarian. Not all fats are created equal when it comes to brain function. 3 specific fatty acids deserve special attention. DHA. This omega-3 fatty acid makes up approximately 20% of the cerebral cortex and 30 to 60% of the retina. It's crucial for brain development, neural function, and preventing cognitive decline. Primary sources here are fatty fishes like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. And I like having a can of sardines 3 or 4 times a week just to make sure I'm getting plenty of good DHA. EPA. While found in smaller amounts in the brain than DHA, EPA plays a vital role in reducing neuroinflammation and supporting mood regulation. Like DHA, it's found predominantly in fatty fish. Though once again, you get some from butter and some from ruminant fat. That's beef and lamb. Okay? But once again, it's always good to have a little bit of sardines in your diet if you like sardines. ARA. This omega-6 fatty acid is a key component of cell membranes in the brain and serves crucial functions in brain development and immune response. It's found in animal foods like egg yolks, organ meats, and fatty cuts of meat. Okay, so you do want the saturated fat from beef and lamb. These 3 fatty acids are only incompletely bioavailable in non-animal foods. Plant versions require extensive conversion process that human bodies perform poorly. Right? So can you get these fats from non-animal sources? Yes. How well is your body converting them properly, and how much of it is bioavailable? This biological reality explains why animal fats have been essential to human brain development throughout our evolutionary history. Okay, real quick. It would help the channel a great deal, and I would personally appreciate it if you would subscribe, like these videos, and share them. All right? Thank you very much. Okay, beyond fat, there are other critical brain nutrients. While fat provides the structural foundation and primary fuel for your brain, several other nutrients found primarily in animal foods support optimal brain function. Carnitine. This helps regulate brain energy and fluid electrolyte balance. It's found almost exclusively in red meat. Right? Carnitine's great. Choline, essential for cell membrane integrity and production of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter crucial for learning and memory. Egg yolks and liver are the richest sources, though red meat will also have some choline. Vitamin B12 is crucial for nerve function, DNA, and red blood cell production. It's found naturally only in animal foods. Non-animal foods can be fortified with the synthetic form of B12, but it's not as good as the natural form found in meat. Creatine supports brain energy reserves and has been shown to improve memory and intelligence test scores. It's found exclusively in animal products, particularly meat. A carnivore diet naturally provides these nutrients in their most bioavailable forms without requiring supplements or complex food combinations. Mental health applications. The implications of a high-fat carnivore diet extend beyond general brain function to specific mental health applications. Many psychiatric conditions, including depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia, have been linked to inflammation. Insulin resistance and nutrient deficiencies, all factors that are poorly that properly formulated carnivore diet address. Dr. Eid describes the ketogenic diet as a brain stabilizing diet that works through similar mechanisms as anti-seizure medications but without the side effects. So if you are suffering from some of these diseases, don't self-diagnose yourself. Work with your psychiatrist on the medication they may be prescribing to you. Get Dr. Ead's book, okay? Have your psychiatrist look into it. She's a Harvard educated and she teaches at Harvard University, right? Psychiatrist. She's well known in the psychiatric community. And talk about would switching to a ketogenic carnivore type diet help you. It has helped 100% of her patients, so it's worth looking into. Okay? Dr. Eid describes the ketogenic diet as a brain-stabilizing diet that works through similar mechanism as anti-seizure medications. This stabilizing effect makes it particularly beneficial for conditions like bipolar disorder and other mood disorders. Okay? Many people with schizophrenia or bipolar disorder exhibit insulin resistance, which can be effectively addressed through a ketogenic or carnivore diet. Insulin resistance, once again, comes back, and that's literally starving your brain of energy. Okay? These diets help reduce inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity, potentially alleviating symptoms of severe mental health conditions. If you're under a psychiatric care and getting medication for any of these things, talk to your psychiatrist or talk to your doctor about the possibility of eating this diet and reducing your medications. Okay, they should be interested in this. Okay, practical implementation. If you're considering a high-fat carnivore approach for brain health, start by focusing on nutrient-dense animal foods. Fatty fish, once again, salmon, mackerel, sardines for EPA and DHA. Egg yolks for choline, DHA, and other brain nutrients. Organ meats, if you like them. If you dislike eating liver, don't force yourself, okay, please. But beef liver is great for vitamin A, B vitamins, and other micronutrients. Also, just eating red meat as a whole, right? Fatty cuts of ruminant meat, that's beef, lamb, bison, for saturated and monosaturated fats. Begin by eliminating processed foods, right? Industrial seed oils and refined carbohydrates. Then gradually reduce plant foods while increasing animal fat intake. Pay attention to how you feel. Many people report improved mental clarity, mood stability, and cognitive function within weeks of transitioning to a high-fat, animal-based diet. The evolutionary perspective. Our brains didn't evolve to run on bagels and pasta. For millions of years, human ancestors consumed diets rich in animal foods, including fatty organs and marrow. The dramatic expansion of the human brain coincided with increased hunting and meat consumption. This isn't coincidental. It reflects our biological need for the dense nutrition that only animal foods provide. Modern dietary guidelines that recommend limiting animal fats contradicts this evolutionary history and the biological reality of our brain's composition. The evidence increasingly suggests that our brains function optimally when fueled by the same foods that allowed them to evolve. Okay? Beyond theory, real-world results. The theoretical foundation for a high-fat carnivore diet for brain health is compelling, but what about real-world results? A Harvard study of over 2,000 carnivore dieters found that 93% started the diet to improve health, and self-reported changes in health status were overwhelmingly positive, including significant improvements in mental clarity and cognitive function. These results align with the biological mechanisms we've explored. Function improves across multiple domains when you provide your brain with the nutrition it evolved to use. Conclusion: feeding your brain what it needs. Your brain is primarily fat and runs best on fat. It requires specific fats found predominantly in animal foods. A high carnivore A high-fat carnivore diet aligns with these biological realities. It nourishes your brain with essential nutrients in the most bioavailable forms. It protects your brain from inflammatory damage, and it energizes your brain with stable, clean-burning fuel. This approach isn't a modern fad, but a return to the nutritional environment in which our brains evolved. Understanding and applying these principles can provide your brain with what it needs to function at its best. The science is precise. Your brain runs on fat. Make sure you're giving it the right kind. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please include them. And if you have any ideas for other topics you'd like me to cover, let me know, and I'll work on those for you. This is a community. We're here to answer your questions and to grow together. Thank you so much. Bye.